Well, I think right now for transgender people, we're at a really monumental moment, a moment of pretty significant social shift and growing awareness. But at the same time, in large part because of that increasing progress, we are seeing an increased backlash in states like North Carolina, Mississippi, Tennessee that have either passed or are trying to pass anti-transgender legislation. And so I think we're in a really delicate place where people who were able to sort of maybe experiencing discrimination but getting by under the radar with this increased visibility are now at greater risk of discrimination. And so we need to make sure that as we continue to push things forward, we are making sure we are not forgetting anyone, that we're protecting people as much as possible in this increased vulnerable place. But at the same time, I think it's inspiring to see how much things have changed in a relatively quick period of time.
And what can other women do to promote inclusivity for trans women?
Well, I think a couple different things. I think Own It just demonstrated one of those things, which is to very clearly and consciously make the statement through inclusion that transgender women are women, transgender men are men, and that we should all be respected in our identities. I think the second is understanding that sexism, misogyny, homophobia, and transphobia are inextricably linked. They are all based on one perception at birth, the sex we are assigned, and the belief that perception should dictate who we are, who we love, how we act, and how we identify. And so making sure that we are all understanding in the work that we do forward, whether it's in LGBT equality, gender equality, racial justice, how inextricably linked the fights are.
And what career advice do you have for women who want to get involved in advocacy like you?
I think I would say it's never too early to start, and it's that local change, campus change, is incredibly important, that they shouldn't look past where they are right now. That's some of the best ways to make the world better, some of the best ways to get experience are through campus activism. Our colleges should be where we want our country to be in 10 or 15 years. And so particularly when you're in this city in Washington with so many important distractions around us in politics and in government, that we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that we can change things on our own campuses, that there are people who need that change in real time here, and that we shouldn't lose sight of those that need that change right in front of us, and so that people should be active on campus is what I would say is my primary advice.
And Madeleine Albright, a couple of weeks ago, kind of went under fire because she used the mantra, I'm sure you've heard, that
there's a special place in hell for women who don't help other women.
Do you agree with the way that was applied, or do you agree with the mantra?
Well, I think I agree with the mantra in the sense that that we all need to make sure we are allies to one another, and that none of us are going to be equal unless all of us are equal. And so I certainly agree with it. It's a famous quote, and frankly, it's a quote that was pretty uncontroversial within at least largely feminist spaces until it was applied in that circumstance with the election. And I think she appropriately sort of walked it back and saying that, I'm not saying that, you're going to go to hell if you don't vote for Hillary Clinton. But I do think the sentiment behind the statement is accurate, which is that we need to be allies for one another. We need to fight for everyone's equality, not just our own individual equality.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
All right.
Great questions.
So much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.